Well guys, we're back with another video. Instead of hunting this evening, we're going to do a DIY step-by-step process on how to boil and European mount your deer heads. So you got 3 stages. First stage is going to be after you get your deer all processed, field dressed, gutted, everything you got to do. You're going to chop his head off, and this will be your first stage. Meat still on the head, as you can see. That'll be your first stage. A couple steps later, you're going to move on to the middle stage, known as pretty much the middle process. You will have a lot of that meat cut away. Eye sockets, all of that will be removed. Bottom jaw and the tongue, all of that will also be removed. Everything around the base of the antlers. So that'll be the middle stage. And then after you're all done, your finished product of a European mount should come out like that, ready to go on the wall. So we are going to go ahead and dive right into all of this, step-by-step instructions on everything you need to know on how to boil and European mount your deer heads. So stay tuned and we're going to dive right into this. So first step of the process, you're going to take your deer head and you're going to try to get most of that meat off that you can. Get it down to pretty much bare bone, and you're going to, once you get that, you're going to move on to the next stage. So let's go ahead and get started on this. After you got most of that neck meat, it's on the base of the head and around the base of the antlers, pulled back, grab his ears, get it in your gut barrel, whatever you're using, throw meat in and all that good stuff. Grab him up here by his antlers, if you guys can see that. You're gonna get right behind that, right on that neck bone, and cut away at all that leftover meat that needs to be out of there. Alright guys, so once you have removed all the meat off the head, whether that's around the base of the antlers, up in here around where his ears were in the back of his head, all up in here in the eye socket where his eyeballs are, anywhere near the nose cavity. You got the bottom jaw and the tongue removed, and you kind of chipped away with your knife anywhere underneath the skull, all up in here. You're good to go, and you're ready to go on to the next step. The next step is you're going to be starting the process of boiling your head. So you'll take your head, you'll set him back down. So after what I just mentioned to y'all, after you placed your head down, you're ready to go ahead and turn on your propane tank and get that burner lit and ignited and get that water to a boil. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Once you got flames going in your burner, you're good to go ahead and put that pot of water on. Probably take around 20 to 30 minutes max, depending on how high you got that heat rolling out, just to get it boiling. So let's go ahead and get to that. Alright, so you're going to want your pot of water, once it's getting ready to a full boil, you're going to want it about 2 inches below the top, so the surface of the pot, just enough so your deer head can sit in there. If it comes down to it, you got to put a rock up at the front, so at the front of the skull it'll kind of keep him elevated so his base of his antlers are not getting in that water. For instance, let me show you. So as you can see right here, at his base of his antlers, he's got about ½ an inch to an inch under the surface of the water. So therefore I can dump some of the water out since it's already hot, or I can keep it elevated by putting a rock right under the front. About like that. And you'll pretty much be ready for the next step. So as you can see right now, we got a full boil, temperature's hot, and we are ready to go ahead and put the deer head in. Since the boil is coming up a little bit high, I'm going to turn it down just a little bit. You are ready to grab your deer head, and he's ready to be placed in. And after this step, you're going to let the head boil for a total of 45 minutes. So go ahead and get on your phone or any kind of stopwatch you have and set it to 45 minutes. So in your spare time, waiting for that clock to run out, go ahead and get some other stuff done. If you're having to do multiple deer heads, as I am, I'm going to go ahead and work away on 1 or 2 of those and wait for this bad boy to get done and move on to the next step. Another great thing to do while you're waiting on those 45 minutes to run out is go ahead and get your pressure washer set up, because as soon as that head's coming out, you're going to go ahead and start pressure washing. Alright guys, so the timer just went off. We're already at the next step. 45 minutes has been up. So we're going to go ahead and turn the propane off. Make sure those are nice and tight, turned off. We're going to take him out. And he's pretty much good to go to be pressure washed. So let's take him over here and get started on that. You can rig up any kind of little concrete block, piece of firewood, anything, rock pile behind them, up against a tree, something to just hold them steady while you're getting rid of all this junk. Just got done pressure washing. You really got to get up in there. You got to get all up in his brain cavity, all up in his nose, around his eye sockets, around the base of the antlers, underneath the skull, pretty much everywhere you see meat. As soon as he comes out of that pot for 45 minutes, you just want to get it off of there. So the next step is go ahead and set him down. You want to dump out this old water. If you got rock somewhere, or if not, near a patio, just dump them somewhere out in the grass. Then you want to go over here, add some new water. Go ahead and reignite your burner. And you're good to go. Put the new pot of water on there, let it come to a boil, and then we'll go on to the next step. So as we're waiting for the new pot of water to come to a boil, we're gonna go ahead and mix about 8 to 10 ounces of hydrogen peroxide. We're gonna go ahead and pour that in. So we're pretty much right on what was left in the bottle. Let that come to a boil and we'll be on to the next step. So as we're waiting, we got a couple more minutes on that water before it starts boiling. We're gonna go ahead and take some tin foil, split that apart. You're gonna get it around the base of the antlers. Leave about a ½ inch underneath. Bring it around. Doesn't have to be perfect. You're gonna get it all tucked up underneath there as best as you can. Just so when it's boiling on the next round with hydrogen peroxide, it doesn't turn the base of these antlers white. So. If you have any extra tin foil, just go ahead and slap that on there as well. So at this point, guys, getting close to being finished. We're gonna go ahead and put the head in. Put them in there nice and slow. Take your 8 to 10 ounces of hydrogen peroxide, whether you got it in a mixing cup or a red Solo cup, anything. Go ahead and pour that in there. And we're gonna put a timer on for 15 minutes. Timer just went off and we're good to go ahead and turn the burner off. Make sure that's nice and tight. We're gonna take him out. Come over here and you're gonna get all that tin foil off. So got the tin foil off. We're gonna go ahead and head over here to the power washer and get on to the next step.
Yeah. Oh.
Got the power washer cranked up. You're ready to rock and roll. Go ahead and get the head taken care of. Alright guys, so we're almost at the end. This is pretty much finished product. All you gotta do is just let it dry. But I mean, if you check it out, that's how it turned out. That is the way that we like to boil and European mount our deer heads. As you follow step-by-step process, everything I explained, yeah, you should be good to go. This thing by tomorrow morning should be ready to be mounted on the wall. So check him out. Dad's 2023 rifle kill. Thanks for watching Full Adrenaline Outdoors, and stay tuned for the next video.